your life. You got this. Go chase it, live your life. Enlighten you. Let the light shine through. Let enlighten you. Just see it through.
I'm Melissa Thrasher.
And I'm Lolita Cummings.
Welcome to Enlighten U, Eastern Michigan University's award-winning mental health podcast for students. I have a couple of questions for all of you. Obviously, you don't need to raise your hand or say the answer out loud, but think about this for a second. Are you an optimist or are you a pessimist? Do you generally think good things are coming your way, or do you often lower your head and prepare for the worst?
Those are really good questions to consider because our responses and our attitude affect our mental health. According to the Mayo Clinic, studies have shown that positive thinking and optimism help relieve stress, while pessimism has the opposite effect. So the question is this: how do we stop self-sabotaging and believe that good things are coming our way? To help us answer that important question, we have here with us today Shayla Mostyn, who is a promoter of positivity. Shayla is an EMU honors student who wholeheartedly believes in the power of positivity and shares her messages with her more than 230,000 TikTok followers. Many of her posts have gone viral, racking up an incredible 10 million likes for her lifestyle videos and inspirational messages. We also have here with us today Dr. Aisha Mustafa, a resident mental health expert, a licensed clinical therapist, and an assistant professor in EMU's Department of Leadership and Counseling. Shayla and Aisha, welcome to Enlighten U.
All right, so welcome to the show, Shayla and Aisha.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're glad that we have you today talking about positivity. And Lolita just got done telling us that you have an incredible following on TikTok.
Yes.
So we want to learn more about that. And you also spread messages of positivity.
Yes.
So tell us more.
Well, TikTok to me has always just been like a fun little hobby, and I kind of do it just for my friends, my family, and I did grow a following after the past like couple years I've been on TikTok, but I've always just done it for myself because, you know, it's fun to have like a video. And then also for my family and friends that follow me who always say, Shayla, we love when you come up on our feed. Or my former classmates who will like message me and be like, my roommate was just watching your video.
That's always fun, right?
Yeah.
So how did it come about?
So I first knew of TikTok way back in 2015.
Wow.
Back when it was Musical.ly. And from there, I never had an account, but I always, of course, knew the trends and I knew the sounds because that's all we talked about.
Uh-huh.
And then when it transformed into TikTok, there was a lot of bad trends that were going around, like the Tide Pod Challenge or the Cinnamon Challenge. And I believe I was in like 7th or 8th grade at that time. And again, I never had interest in getting an account. It wasn't really something I saw myself doing. And then I was a freshman in high school, and it was becoming more and more famous. And I thought, you know what, I'd give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not like it. So I deleted it.
Uh-huh.
And then I reinstalled it.
Uh-huh.
And then I deleted it again. And then
3 times a charm.
Yes. And then when I finally re-downloaded it, I thought, again, just to have a private account, and it was for my friends and my family to follow just because it was fun. And then I took it seriously when there was a trend going around. I believe it was the summer before my freshman year of college. And there was a trend going around where people were dressing up to go to the Minion movie, The Rise of Gru.
That's right.
And I did not want to wear one of my brother's suits in May. So instead I just did like dressing like a minion. I wore jeans and a yellow t-shirt and black glasses with the lens popped out. And that's what started it all. That's how I really got here, is that one video where I switched my account from private to public and I changed it, and that's how it all transpired.
Wow. So I know you to be a positive person.
Yeah.
So from that video, did you claim that you wanted your TikTok to just focus on positive messaging, or how did that come about?
So it wasn't that I claimed that this is what I want my TikTok to be. That's just kind of how it transpired. And I kind of did just kindness, and I always ended with, hope you all have a wonderful day, or rest of your weekend or night, whatever video I was filming. And it just kind of transpired that way, because I always had a smile to welcome everyone on my video, and then a smile for like ending the video. And people just were like, you're so sweet and so kind. And then after a while, I started doing motivational Mondays, where I would do a quote of the week, starting on whatever Monday it was. Unfortunately, I haven't done that in a while, but I'm gonna get back to that. And it just kind of known for being positivity and kindness, because that's all that's been on my account. I don't hate on others. I don't discriminate. I don't do any of that. I just smile and say welcome.
Yeah. And keep it moving,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I like that.
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much for being with us here, too. I mean, I feel like with everything going on in the world right now, with so much negativity, so much division, what you are doing is exactly what all of us need, especially even if it's only for just, a video or for a second, to get away from all of that negativity. How long did it take you to get 230,000 followers?
A couple years, I'd say. Like, I did grow. I remember when I hit 10,000, I ran downstairs and my dad was sitting in the family room, and I go, Dad, I just hit 10,000 followers on TikTok. And he goes, that's cool. When are you going to start making money from it?
Well, do you make money?
No, not off TikTok.
Okay. Can you make money? I'm not even on TikTok. So
I've looked into it. It's a little difficult, like the process. And I've heard from people that you actually lose followers and you lose more than you gain. And so instead I don't, but I do have Cameo. So I make money from that. And again, that's always just people like, hey, can you send a message to like cheer up my friend? Or hey, it's so-and-so's birthday. Will you send a happy birthday message?
Okay, so for someone like me who has no idea what Cameo is, will you explain that just real quickly?
Yes. So Cameo is like where you can request either your favorite celebrity, or for me, maybe favorite like influencer, I guess, if that's what you want to call me. And you can like pay a certain amount of money, whatever their weight is, and you can request that they send you a video, and you can like put any info. Sometimes I use a nickname that they want me to use, mention some friends or some event that they're doing. I remember a boyfriend was surprising his girlfriend with like a trip, and he wanted me to announce the trip, like where they were going. So it can be like, it can be a short video. I think the longest I've done was 30 seconds. So it's just a way to kind of earn some money. I don't make a lot, but like it's still fun and a good way to be more connected to my followers.
Yes.
Because it's more one-on-one.
Oh, that's amazing. So do you have, I know you post a variety of different videos. You said you used to have a Motivational Monday.
Yes.
Do you have is there a favorite video that you posted, or one that, garnered more likes than another, or just one that was more special to you than another?
That is a great question. My favorite, so I do multiple series. My favorite series I've done is Shayla Shares Style, which is actually where the Gru video, the Minion video, comes in. And that was named by a follower. I asked people and they gave me suggestions in the comments, and I loved it. And I think my favorite one I did, the one I think that garnered the most likes is when I dressed like the Kardashians.
Oh. Was it Halloween, or you just felt like doing it?
No, it was doing, because I usually save that series for the summer, because that's when I have the most time to like change in the outfits, and like because with school I'm so busy sometimes. But it was I did a side-by-side photo, and it was Kim K, and she was in a white t-shirt, a plaid shirt like over it, and then jeans, and then she had long black hair like I do.
Yes, exactly.
And so I had a white tank top, a plaid shirt, and jeans, and I looked so much like her that people were like, Shayla, you're the honorary Kardashian. So I think that was one of my favorites, because it really kind of showed like everything and like how fun I is with all the videos. And I don't know, I just really love that.
You know what I love about what you're doing is that you are spreading positivity and giving other people joy, but I can see in your eyes that you have joy from actually doing it. Because so many, you hear from some comedians sometimes that they make people happy, but they're not happy.
Yeah.
I don't see that at all in you.
Not at all.
You are eliciting joy in yourself as we're sharing it with others. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I love
And
that.
even her voice, she just smiles happy. You know, you can never not feel happy when you're not around, when you're with your,
Yes,
you know.
I definitely
with
agree. We met each other actually last night at an event with Kings of Casino, and it was the same joy of like you'd win and be like clapping, and I was like, it was like when I see you today, and I was like, hi, how are you? And it was like great, yeah. So this is not a show.
Yeah, you're just a ray of sunshine.
Absolutely.
you.
So we keep throwing this word positivity around. Aisha, tell us about that.
Yeah,
What does
so-
it mean and what does it do for us?
Yeah, so positivity is having hope, good outlook on different things that are occurring. And so it keeps us from spiraling to the hopelessness, the despair. And so something that often comes up is what is toxic positivity. And that is everything's always great. If you say you lost your job and someone says, well, at least you had a job, we're like, okay, thank you.
That's toxic positivity.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, I have all these medical appointments. Well, thank God you have insurance. You're like, yep, that's great. And so how to allow yourself to feel emotions, and also like we can't always sit down in the despair, but having this balance of things are going good in my life, and also this is really hard right now.
Can we stick on that for just 1 second? Because first of all, I was unfamiliar with the term toxic positivity before we decided to research for this show. But the examples that you gave, I can certainly see how that would feel toxic to the person who received it. But I'm also thinking the person who delivered that message might have thought they were trying to cheer the person up by giving them the bright side.
Yes.
So what can we say instead?
Say like that's really hard, what's going on, like how can I support you, or just like that's really difficult. If you have a relationship with someone and if you continue to talk about it, it's like, oh, do you want to strategize solutions? And sometimes people are like, no, I just really want to talk about how this is really crappy right now. And it's like, oh, that's great, because we want to help folks. And what happens is if you're like, oh, you lost your job. Okay, do you need help with your resume? And it's just like, we can talk about it. It really sucks to lose your job.
I feel like I need to go and apologize to all my friends.
I know, it's really hard. It's so, yeah.
and
it's
my
really
daughter
tough.
will call me, and my daughter has called me out, and she's like, "Mom, I'm not looking for solutions.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this
just a
is
listening
exactly what you're
ear.
talking about. I just
Yeah.
want you to listen, but my natural tendency is to try and fix it or to give you a bright side. I always say,
Oh, yeah,
I
my
learned
mom
from this
and I-
table. This is good.
My mom and I am like, thank you, Mom.
Yep.
I know it's great that I have insurance, and also I had to take my kid to urgent care. Think it sucks.
So, Aisha, can we talk a little bit about how positivity affects mental health?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when we have negative thoughts, we start to feel like we're hopeless. Nothing will ever change. So for students, this could be, I failed this course, this test, and this despair, like this is going to keep happening. This is going to keep happening. And so positivity is trying to recognize there are some good things going, or we have a chance to correct, and not sitting in this despair of nothing will ever get better. So classic symptom of depression is this hopelessness that I will always be in this position. And so with positivity, and like therapy world, that would be addressing cognitive distortions. So distorting thoughts that catastrophizing. I didn't do well in this test. I'm never going to get in med school. And it's first semester, first year. And like, it's okay actually. And so like, I think it's important to switch the thoughts we're having. And so positivity is what that's doing. And in mental health land, that's called reframing your thinking.
Right. Okay. So if we're thinking negatively about something, we need to take a break and consider positive thoughts, right?
Yeah, I think acknowledging that you're having negative feelings and trying not to judge that you have the thought, just allowing the thought to exist. And then that could go on for an hour, could go on days. And then, making sure we don't stay down here, that we're hopeless of nothing will ever improve. So if you keep not getting interviews, or you are getting callbacks, of not having the hopelessness that I'll never be able to get a job. But it's okay to be like, that's really hard. I really wanted this job. I put a lot of effort into trying to get the job. and just, thinking like, okay, I'm going to keep trying the positivity. Like, okay, I will find the good fit.
Yeah. I love this conversation because even in my line of work, I'm often looked at as an optimist. I love thinking I have to keep positive, right, in my line of work. But one line that I always say is, it'll always work out, or it'll work out. So this is a great conversation that we're having.
Yeah, it'll work out. And it may look differently than you thought, but
exactly.
When things be okay, it's not that they can't go poorly, but like the world is not ending because of X. It's just we're gonna shape the packaging on the thought.
Yeah, and it's just a Tuesday.
It's just a Tuesday.
It's just a Tuesday. Absolutely. So I'm thinking about this in terms of how our students may be feeling with their academic performance and how a positive mindset may help improve their academic performance. I'm assuming there's research that says that it does, right? Shayla, what do you do because you're happy, but are you always happy? I mean, what do you do when things may start to affect you in a negative space?
So I, like Melissa, am definitely an optimist, but I'm still human. So I, of course, have my down days. If you don't, then maybe you're not human.
Right, exactly.
And so when I'm down, it really depends on what has gotten me down. A big thing is that for academics, when I feel really overwhelmed, I try to listen to music as I'm doing work, things that kind of keep my mind both occupied but also focused and kind of keep me vibing. Sometimes if you see me in the eateries or even just in my dorm lounge, I may be dancing while my headphones are in. I may be dancing to my music. And really the biggest thing is just taking time for yourself. Sometimes if I feel like I'm all done socially and I just want to be myself tonight, then I'll put on one of my favorite Disney movies or Pixar movies, and I'll just make a bag of popcorn and I'll watch a movie, come have a self-care night. And so when I'm feeling down, it's just how I do it, is trying to lift myself back up.
I love how you say that you know what works for you. Right?
Yeah.
You have these things that you know that you can do that are going to make you happy, that you just don't wallow in it.
Yeah.
Right? Aisha, how do we stop? How do we do that? How do we not spiral and wallow into this pit of negativity and sadness?
This is one of my favorite topics. So self-regulation, of how do you calm, balance your emotions. So in my class, EDLD 631, human relations skills. I was like, what are they acronyms? Human relations skills for education leaders. I'm teaching master students and higher ed student affairs about how to regulate ourselves so we can show up in different spaces. And it's not about being perfect all the time. It's how do you adjust when things are going bad? So throughout the semester, we're talking about creating a self-regulation plan. So maybe that's music. Maybe that's noticing that movement helps you. And so we've had Raina come in, who was on the podcast. I think the episode aired in June 2024. Talk about your nervous system and what is physically happening, that flight, fight, freeze, and how to work through that cycle. And so then my students are, for their follow-up of that proposal, thinking about how to change their narrative. So it's called narrative therapy. So they'll write down this experience in their internship, grad assistantship, professional work of something that went really badly. My supervisor is really upset with me. And so this narrative of I'm always going to have this experience. And the narrative therapy, you rewrite the story of, that was a really hard experience, but I didn't get fired. I sat with the emotions of my supervisor saying that. And then to follow up on that, we have doing sensory stations for students. And so they're going to teach other people to do self-regulation. And so, for example, you're teaching other people how to be positive, because wanting to do for yourself, and then how do you expand this? And so thinking about one group is going to have bubbles. And so when you blow, I mean, it's just very silly. It's I imagine kindergarten classroom with just different stations. They're blowing bubbles, and what they'll do is each bubble's a problem. Some bubbles are bigger, some are smaller. And the breathing alone is self-regulation, because you have to breathe a lot and focus on blowing the bubble. I know, it's the simplest thing.
But almost being in the moment, right?
Exactly. You have to be in the moment.
You're centering yourself.
And it's called box breathing, where you have to bring in, breathe different patterns, breathe 4, hold, four, and then exhale, four, and then
the whole four.
exactly. And so how simple things like blowing bubbles can help people in a like very cheap way to self-regulate. And so I think it's a great way for students to learn. And so we're inviting people to come to the class so they can see these different things. And I'm very excited to like buy Play-Doh and just be fun and silly of like, how can you do these things? So like when you're working with their students at academic advising, like someone comes in really stressed, what about a stress ball, fidgety spinner, something that can help them look at like while they're working through their stress cycle of like, things are okay, I'm moving this, okay, this class is really hard, why don't we adjust maybe and not double up on really hard 3 classes. Like you did really well in this class, or even maybe you didn't do well, but you really like this content. Like that's the positivity because you're still learning. Maybe you didn't demonstrate that at the time.
Right. So I need to purchase a stress ball, bubble.
And also part of the making it. So some
Play-Doh.
Yeah,
so
Play-Doh.
some
Okay.
of them are making sense. Like you can go to a store and buy essential oils, but the activity of actually making it yourself or getting orange peels or something like that, like it's a whole, I know I'm very
It's a whole
excited.
thing,
It's
and
a
I'm
whole
ready
thing. I'm
for
very
this.
excited for them.
So I know you have a lot of comments coming through on TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you read all the comments? Can you
Yes.
talk about some of the things your followers are saying and how does it affect their mental health?
So most recently, I've been getting the "My Shayla" trend that's on TikTok, and even in person, I'll walk in somewhere and I'll have friends be like, "My Shayla."
So cute.
But a lot of my comments I've gotten, "Thank you for brightening up my day. You've made me smile. I've had a tough week," or "I've missed seeing you on my page," in all caps.
Wow.
So I've gotten a lot of like comments and like positivity of like how I've helped them and how I've just made them smile, even if it's just like you're swiping and then you just see my face and you smile. It's as simple as that, especially with like friends and family as well. Or I'll have like former classmates of mine give me a call and be like, "My roommate was just watching your video," which actually happened my freshman year of college, which I thought was so funny. And it's really just made them kind of give them a reason to smile, even if they've had a hard day.
So how does that make you feel at the end of the day?
Honestly, it makes me feel like this is what I'm doing. You know, that was my intent, to go on TikTok and help others to smile and have a good part of their day. And to hear that I've been doing that just makes me feel so amazing and want to continue. You know, when the TikTok 12-hour ban happened, I was kind of like not saddened by it, but I'm like, you know what? I was fine before TikTok came. I'll be fine after TikTok is gone. And
Positivity.
There's that positivity.
Like we're gonna redirect. Like maybe go to another platform. Maybe you create
I
your
know
own website.
a lot of people have been asking me if I'm gonna do Instagram Reels instead, and I got a lot of follows on my like TikTok, Instagram I made for followers and who wanted to like stay in touch. And I actually started looking into doing Instagram Reels if it came down to that.
Yep. So you have a
Although-
plan B.
Yeah, I had a plan B, but then at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? I was doing what I was doing before TikTok. I'll do what I'm doing after TikTok.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really good.
That is really good. You know, you talk about your followers and how they express gratitude for what you are sharing with them, and it almost makes me so your followers are with you, right? And so it reminds me of my mother's and many of our mothers' old saying, "Birds of a feather flock together," right? So they're with you. So Aisha, can you talk a little bit about who we surround ourselves with and how, and what impact that has on us? Your followers are with you when they're happier because of it, but
Yeah.
if it's not that, what are we doing?
Great question. So if you're surrounding yourself with people who are constantly negative, like if you've ever felt that stress of, well, I'm going to tell them something and they're going to be like, well, that's not happening to me. And like you start getting anxious, maybe nervous around them of like, are they going to be a Debbie Downer? And it's tough because they're having a hard time, and also you don't want to necessarily say, could you be positive for a second? Like, you know, and so I think adjusting how we talk of like, hey, what is going well versus like, I don't want to hang out with you because you're always negative. And it's okay to experience like you love your friend, your family member, but your energy's lower by what's occurring with them. And then, you know, checking with them like, hey, you know, how can I support you? I think, you know, it's a tough time you're having, but I do see, rather than necessarily giving solutions, noting like, I do see you're really trying at this class. Like, maybe they didn't realize that, because we get really stuck on, we want the grade, we want the accolades. And it's like, I see this positive thing, but you don't have to say it as like, hey, this is positive. Did you think about this? And blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I see you really trying, or you really built really good study habits. I think we discount the fact of just like setting aside time to do your work is super important. And yes, I do. Like, I also would like my grade and to graduate.
That too.
Yes.
So thinking about all of your posts, the
Yeah.
themes, Motivational Mondays, Get Dressed with Me, My Shayla, just the number of different things that you do, which theme has the greatest impact with your following? And why do you do it?
I don't know. I feel like just all my videos kind of impact the same. I do get like more like, hey, can you do days in my life or get readies with me? I have a lot of followers who've been with me since freshman year in college. And so when it's like, get ready with me for the first day of classes or second first day of classes for like the new semester, I always get, I've been here with you since you were 18 and now you're a junior in college? That's crazy. And so I've had a lot of followers who've been with me since the start, which is just so amazing because I've definitely changed throughout college. And with all the things that I'm doing and have added to my extracurriculars throughout the years, it's like they get to see that with me.
Right.
And so I feel like my days in my life are definitely something I try to do as best as I can, because I know a lot of people love to see what we're doing here at Easton that might be different than their college, or just like what I'm doing that's different than them, you know, because like journalism minor could look different at every school.
Yep.
And so I've gotten some people ask me questions about my different fields of study, which is really great, and want to see more about that aspect.
Yeah, days of our
I
lives.
Days
love
in
days
my
of your
life.
life.
Days, yeah,
Like, you get up
that's
and
so
you see
cute.
them, like, I find them really regulating of, like, how do different people start their day.
Yeah.
So you talked
Yeah.
about stretching, you
those.
talked about in the past podcasts, and, like, when you turn on the news. And so seeing, like, oh, that's an option. And the videos will be, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of my followers have started doing things that I'm doing. So in my get readies with me, I always do teeth brush.
Yes, I love when you do that.
And my mom's had her friends tell her, like, hey, I've started doing that now with some
that's so
people.
cute.
And I'll do this is the fit, and I like show off my fit. Top is from so and so, pants are from usually Walmart. And I've had followers who comment that they always do this is the fit before leaving.
That's so fun.
I always just kind of do. I don't even realize I'm doing it until it became a thing.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of did teeth brush to just for fun, and I didn't realize it was like such a thing until there was one video. I don't think I did it, and so many people were like, why didn't you do it? We miss it. Please do it again.
Well, you're making like everyday things that we need to be doing
Yeah.
fun, right? Who thinks about
Yeah.
brushing your teeth?
teeth I brush.
Exactly.
Medicine is taken, and now I'm off to do my hair.
Right.
Yeah, so staying present in the moment, because I think often we're like, okay, we got to get ready, and showing someone like, oh, actually, when I, Gavin, one of our episodes, like, do the hair thing, like, and it's like, oh, like, I gotta get them before I go to the podcast, I'm like, it's a little shake, and like, I think it was Caroline did a video of days of our lives,
Day in my life.
day in my life of the podcast, and like, what does that look like of getting ready and the behind the scenes, and it highlights like, oh, there's more to our lives than just we showed up.
Yes, we showed up. Exactly. Making it fun and exciting.
I feel like you could do a master class in
Yes.
positive videos and TikToks. What advice would you have for students who also want to share positivity, who want to do something similar to what you're doing?
The biggest thing is acknowledging that no matter what you post, no matter how kind or whatever you're posting, you have to acknowledge that there will be haters. That's the first that's the first thing. There's a hater for every nice person, no matter what. There's always going to be haters no matter what. And I think the first step to knowing about social media and just how it works is how to be able to kind of push that negativity and not let it affect you. It's very difficult on some days, especially with the kinds of comments I'm sure others received and I have received in past. But I think the best thing to know is you have to know whose opinion matters more. You know, like, why should I listen to what strangers comment about me or like my body or like how do I act when they don't know who I am? They don't know what I've been through. I'm more apt to listen to comments from my mom or my family than I am strangers online. So that's another thing, is knowing whose opinions matter most to you.
I love your confidence and knowing really who you are, what you're doing, and what.
Thank you. It has taken me a lot to get here. I always like think to myself, if 8th grade me saw high school senior me, two different people, or if I saw freshman or college freshman me versus now, it's also two different people.
Yeah, that's great. So this has helped you in your growth and your development as well. And now you're helping other people with the same thing. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Yeah.
I think that's a perfect segue into asking Aisha, how do you balance it all? I mean, you're dealing with, like Shayla said, these negative thoughts or negative feedback from followers. How do you balance positivity and those negative emotions?
I think figure out who you want to listen to. Like you said, your mom is someone, and like if I had followers, like I'm not gonna look at the comments because it's just you're gonna get someone who's like always just hating on random things that make no sense, and so like knowing who do you check in with? So do you ask your friends about something? Maybe ask a friend or family. Can you look at the comments and just give me a brief synopsis of like, do I need to adjust with this? I think that's a great tip. Something my husband and I do every night is talk about 3 things that went well, 3 things we're looking forward to. We do it for him, me, and our dog Bailey. And sometimes like it's a tough day. It's I enjoyed a donut, and sometimes it's
The little things.
It's like the tiny things, and it gets us to think about that. Or when you have like the Sunday scaries or something you're not looking forward to, being like, okay, I'm nervous about this meeting tomorrow, but the fact that it's 30 minutes and not an hour, I'm like, that's, the tiniest thing. Yeah. So.
And for the comments, one thing I do is I do go through my comments, so I can just block people and be like, oh, you don't like me, goodbye. Bye-bye. But I also like responding to my followers because, they took the time to watch the video and they took the time to comment. The least I can do is either like the message if I'm just like, on the go and I can't like comment back, or I do respond, especially if it's like, first comment, hi Shayla, how are you? And it's nice. Like, if they're asking me questions, I like to take my time to answer them because, they took the time to comment. So I thought it's like common courtesy to respond or at least give them a like so they know I like saw their comment and they're appreciated.
Yeah, you're building a relationship.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love your sense of responsibility to your followers and the personal attention that you give to them. As we wrap up, and we're going to have to do that real soon. I always hate this time. What other advice would you like to leave with someone who wants to spread positivity in the world?
So one thing that I guess when we were talking about earlier about the framing of our mindset, one thing I saw was an Instagram post, and it was someone who like kind of reconfigured like an X post, and it said, equivocate the number of likes you have to how many people are in the room wanting to hear you speak. So, and one example I actually used with some friends who were feeling down, I said, imagine you have an outfit on that you love, that you look fabulous in, and you want to post it on social media. Let's say at the end of the day, you only got 5 likes. Instead, change it to, you're walking down the hallway and 5 people told you they loved your outfit.
Oh, I'd be bouncing around the rest of the day.
See, if I was walking down Prayer Hill or just walking like in the Game Above Center and 5 people told me they loved my outfit, I'd feel like I'm on top of the world. Yes. So I saw that and like, you know what? That's so interesting. So even if a video only gets 10 likes, 10 people told me that they liked my video. They loved my day in my life. They loved seeing my fit for the day. They loved seeing what I did. So it's like equivocate the number of people or a number of likes you get, no matter how big, no matter how small. Equivocate that, one of the two. Think of that as that's the amount of people who are in a room wanting to hear you speak. That's the amount of people who told you they loved your outfit for today. That's the amount of people who told you, wow, you went somewhere fun. That's cool. It can be big as 1 million people. It can be as small as 5 or less.
That is a game changer.
It is.
It's
and
a
it's
game
the
changer.
people that matter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm glad you shared
I
that with
thank
us.
you so much. Aisha, any last words?
Yeah, I think you can be positive, spread positivity with strangers. So before you said the example, the like giving someone a shout out for their outfit. So even in the bathroom, I see someone maybe in a suit, and I'm like, when you probably go to an interview, I'm like, you look great, and they're like, oh my god, that's so nice. I'm about to go to an interview, or I was like, hey, I like your hair, and just keep on walking. And then like I did it last week, so I had cool glasses, and they're like, I like your face, and it was like a nice little moment. And then it's like the simplest things. You don't have to have a relationship with someone to spread positivity.
Yeah. I was walking down the hall, and I remember I was like going down the stairs, someone's going up, and they're like halfway down, and they said, hey, I love your pants. And I said, thank you. And I'm like screaming down the hall back.
Yeah, but it helps brighten your day too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand why you do that. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to we're going to end this show with this love fest and hope that it extends to all of our viewers. You all have been very helpful today. So
Thank
What a
you.
fun
Thank you for
show.
joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm on the set of Enlighten U, which is Easton's award-winning mental health podcast. I was on today to talk about positivity and kindness spread through my TikTok. I'm here with our two amazing co-hosts and our mental health expert.
once again, that was a good show, but that was a fun show because we get to talk about positivity instead of really heavy issues that we normally talk about, which are important also, but I always love these.
I know. And I love Shayla. She's just a ray of sunshine, and we needed the positivity right now, don't we?
We really do.
We need it.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for watching. We hope this show helps you to adopt a positive mindset beginning today, because as we just found out, it can be life-changing.
Life-changing indeed. And it's one of those things that can make a huge difference with minimal effort. So let's all go on that journey together. Y'all be good.